What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the KCM. My name is Saiyan SC. A lot of shit going on right now in the world. Inflation is going crazy. There's war. We may not even be able to buy food soon, but at least we've got sustenance for our eyes. Plenty of good Broodwar to watch. Internets to make that happen. So at least we've got something. I don't know where I'm going with this intro, but God, the news is bleak right now, guys. Like, holy shit. What is even going on in the world right now? I need to just close my eyes to all this nonsense. Stop watching the news. Stop watching and listening to podcasts. Like, it's just everywhere. Kind of blows my mind. But I digress, guys. We've still got more and more good Broodwar content coming out. We have a fantastic lineup for today. I don't know why I'm complaining, why I'm even thinking about this shit. We've got Royal Light Rush, Movie, Mini Bisu, Soma, Hero, Soul Key. Terran bringing it back from last week, man. Holy shit. That is a lineup. That is a Terran lineup. Winner's queue here, boys. If I've ever seen it. Royal Light Rush. Whew. That is a tough wall to get by. Rush is out here first. He's going up against Soul Key, though. Soma, Hero, Soul Key is a nasty lineup as well. Movie for Protoss. That is a damn good lineup as well. Movie, Mini Bisu? Come on. Movie who took out every player except for Soma last week. Spoiler alert, by the way. But he just ran through everybody this previous week. He was on a crushing spree, man. I don't know if these guys have figured out his style yet, but damn. That guy is strong. We've got Mini to back him up. Bisu, of course, always a great player. I mean, not quite as good in the modern era, but still such a beast. So this should be a banger, guys. An absolute banger. We're starting off here on a Polypoid. Cross map position, ZVT, a great way to start things off. Looks like a 2-hatch Muta play, possibly, from Soul Key. To wait a little longer to see if he throws down a 3rd hatch. And I imagine Rush is going to 2 racks out of this. I believe he just threw down that... Oh, actually, Engineering Bay. Quick +1 Rush. We didn't see that a lot recently. Maybe that's why Rush is opting for this build. It's been kind of figured out, I feel, by Zerg players. It's not that strong anymore. 3rd hatch being dropped in the main. There was a time when +1 Rush was just super popular. It was insanely strong. And it almost always put you in a decent position, but that's not today, man. These days, 2 racks rushing, getting across the map before the mutas pop out, that can net you some wins, can put you in a good spot. Maybe you can kill some drones. If you wait for this +1, you're going to delay your stim pack by quite a bit, and even with the 3rd hatch, Tolkien's still going to be able to get his units out in time, I think, to deal with this push out from Rush. It'll have to be more of a mid-game play here from our Terran player in order to take a win. He's not going to be able to just break through the natural here real nice and early and take a quick win. It's not going to be a possibility. Anyway, it's probably a better build for this map position. Being in cross map, just such a long rush distance. Probably a 2 racks timing attack with that stim pack just won't make it there in time. I think Rush maybe has just identified that fact as adapting his play, going into a higher barracks count here. We'll see if that grows all the way to 5 racks or if he wants to stick here on 3. Oh, sorry, 4. 4 racks is still pretty strong, just allows you to get the factory out a little bit earlier. There's always a trade-off, of course. So, not going to be as many Marines in the early game, in the mid game. Nice pick off there on the SCV. He's isolated Rush now in that bottom right-hand corner. He knows that there's no scout on the map, so he's going to go ahead and throw down his 3rd hatchery in the bottom left-hand, or excuse me, his 3rd base down in the bottom left-hand corner. And it'll be up to Rush to either move out on the map and send a scout down to the bottom left, or use his scans in order to identify the positioning here, like Rush's position with the turrets. It looks pretty strong. He's also moving out here right as the Mutalisks are arriving, so going to threaten a push across the map, looks like. However, Solki just going to dive in here. Rush starts to send his army across, but he may end up losing a lot of SCVs right now. He's bouncing back and forth. Solki needs to retreat here. He doesn't have sunken colonies in high enough number to take a fight at the natural. This is a pretty small group of medic marine, though. This could easily be surrounded and killed by Solki if he so desires. Popping out another few Lings, a couple more Mutalisks as well, and he should be able to handle this. Rush is being patient, though. Being cautious. He moves back towards his natural and reinforces. That is a very important rotation there from Rush, moving around the map and coming back to his natural. Oh, 2 stuck SCVs. That certainly hurts for Rush. That was not intentional. Obviously, that was a bit of a mistake. I like the positioning on the turrets. I think that they cover each other very well and the mineral line very nicely, but those 2 SCVs are still going to be taking up supply, but they're not going to be able to build or mine any minerals, which is just dead weight here for potentially the rest of the game. That does hurt a lot. Some Lings and Mutas gonna challenge the front here. Marines just sprinting across. Actually not sprinting across, moving into a empty area of the map. And then slowly retreating here. Solki was thinking that Marine group was headed directly towards his natural. It was not. Instead, headed towards the top right. Finds a small empty spot on the map with no Zerg vision. And hides out for a moment, forcing the Mutalisks back. A nice move by Rush. Playing a little bit of chicken here with our Zerg player. I don't think he's quite aware yet of the base in the bottom left. If he was, I think he would be moving out in a different direction here. Instead of up straight towards the north, I think he would be heading towards the left here a little bit more. I saw a scan go down and Rush's screen flick over towards the bottom left there just for a second. So I think he has full information now about where Solki is at in this game, where his expansion is, and the speed of his lurkers. Small group of Marines headed up this direction, but going to be intercepted by these Lings, surrounded and killed. A pretty decent trade here for Solki. Will back off, though, as more reinforcements do arrive. More and more barracks being added. What will be first to pop out of these 2 starports here? Will he go for a pair of dropships or directly into science vessels. Like lurkers are already out and ready to go. Solkey's still threatening the front. Fortunate losing that supply depot there. Can't really get behind these mineral patches to defend either. Solkey gonna get the most out of these mutas as he can before the science vessels pop out and make them obsolete. These two dropships gonna be loading up, heading out on the map, just out of vision of these overlords here. It looks like he's going... Oh, it looked like he was gonna go through the vision of that one Ling, but he's somehow managing to avoid all of this vision. What? He hasn't been spotted there. He sees it. He sees it. Solkey has to see this. Where are the Scourge? There's Scourge in the main base. And Rush will not make it in. He's just going to drop here outside of the main as he heads down towards the bottom left. Putting on a little pressure here, but not dealing the damage that he was looking for. These dropships need to rotate to another location, try to get more damage, but the mutas are going to come in now and two-shot these. Picks off both of the dropships there. Very impressive play from Solkey. A little bit of a mistake from Rush, moving away from the dropship with his Marines, leaving them unguarded. Solkey just so good at getting the most out of his muta, just constantly keeping them out of harm's way, not allowing them to be reduced or irradiated, and taking only fights that he knows he can win, like this one at the third base. Rush not going to be able to defend this for much longer. Okay, more reinforcements coming up. And again, Rush just instantly backing off. Or excuse me, Solkey instantly backing off the moment that that battle was lost. Few irradiates going down. Killing off some of the most important units for Solkey, those being the Defilers and Lurkers at this moment. An Irradiate does kill a Lurker Defiler. The only unit that can survive an Irradiate on the Zerg's side of things is, of course, the Ultra. And there's our Ultralisk Cavern coming down now. This is a very quick fourth base from Solkey, by the way. He's taking this with some serious efficiency. He wants to even push out a bit if he can, but that's getting a little ahead of himself. Wants to take this slow. Nice pick off on the Science Vessel there. He even keeps his Defiler alive. Radiate going down on that Lurker, not nearly as valuable as the Defiler in this situation. It's very difficult to get Defilers near to the Terran base when they're constantly irradiating over and over again, but Solkey's slowly pushing up here. He's crawling his Dark Swarms forward and covering his Defiler with those Scourge. Backing off now. He will get irradiated, unfortunately, but he throws down the first plague of the game. Grabs a few Fire Bats and Marines. Great defensive play here from Solkey in his main base. He's so ready for any drops that might come through. I think Rush is pretty much given up on the possibility of drops this game. Now that so much has been killed off, or that his dropships have been killed. Whoa. Is tripping all over my words there as the Scourge nearly connected with that big group of science vessels. That's quite a few irradiates going down on these poor Lurkers here. Only 2 are going to be left over once the dust clears. Needs to get a few more down to that location unless he plans to get busted there. Of course, he never planned to get busted. So he definitely needs to throw a few units through that Nidus network. Get his defensive units back in place. Get those Dark Swarms going once again. Rush going to come in for yet another round of Irradiates. I think this one's going to connect. Oh, just barely not. Nice Plague, though. Big Plague on the Marines and Fire Bats there in the front. They don't have any medics with them either, so that's going to be really bad. Another great Plague here. Wrecking these few Marines here. He's going to throw down that Dark Swarm, and these Marines are going to absolutely melt. Good play by Solki, but meanwhile, Rush has secured multiple bases. This is fantastic by Rush. I don't think he can hold the upper right, though. In theory, this is great. But you gotta send more units up to this location. If you can hold another main base, if you can split the map against Zerg, you can give yourself a real chance of fighting in the very late stages of the game. You can start to battle straight up against the full Ultralisk armies. Sitting here on 4 base, still not too bad for Rush, but you really want to secure that base up in the top right, and then you'll actually be able to hold on and produce enough Marine Medic and, of course, the Science Vessels, battle cruisers that you need to control the map and keep the Zerg player off of you. The moment that Ultralisk and Defilers reach any one of your bases, you are in major trouble. You absolutely have to make sure that never happens. Thus, you need to keep map control all the time against a strong Zerg player like this. Trying to break through here. Down at the bottom right, it's not going to happen. Rush gets thrown back there. He's going to be pushed away from this army as well, or from this area as well. Meanwhile, an army heading to the top right-hand corner. Solki is slowly taking control of this game. Rush is kind of falling apart a little bit. He's falling behind in army supply. He doesn't have much here on this high ground. Dark Swarm comes down. Ultras are present. This is what I'm talking about, guys. Once the Ultras with the Dark Swarm arrive at any base, that base is dead. And Rush, instead of taking huge map control in the center of the map, he's been fighting to try and break through the bottom left and win the game. Solki holding on just barely there, manages to take a big win here in the center right. He's going to clear out this army. The Ultras are so strong right now. This first group of Ultra dealing amazing damage across the map. The bunkers are not being used. Rush, what are you doing right now, man? He's still sending battle cruisers and all of his army towards the bottom left to try and make something happen, but meanwhile, Solki has cleared out everything in the right-hand side of the map. He's even taking another base at the top center. 4 battle cruisers holding on barely against... Oh, okay, Irradiate's coming down. I feel like D-Matrix might actually have been better. He clears out this base in the center left. He's keeping Solki on 4 bases. But this feels like a losing battle here for Rush. He's even going to lose this battle cruiser. Both the battle cruisers go down. Could almost deny this gas, but of course more Scourge will be popping here momentarily. And Solki is closing the noose, man. He's pushing forward towards this final mining base. I guess there is still a little bit of money in the natural, but that's nearly mined out. And soon only this mineral base will be left. So Rush is falling back. He's being plagued here. His army's looking very red, even more red than usual. Got a little bit of that extra red on top. Tons of Hydras popping out. Now, this is the real counter against the battlecruiser. You pop out a bunch of Hydras, get that range, speed upgrade, and then you just drop Dark Swarms. The Hydras can fight for days. There's really nothing you can do with the battlecruiser once they're covered. Once the Hydras are covered by that Dark Swarm. Of course, you can just mass up insane numbers of these Hydras as well, and then just push through with Plague. Plague on Marines plus Hydra attacks are gonna absolutely wreck this force. That's gonna be it, guys. No way to recover from here. Rush is still trying to take a base in the top right-hand corner. He can't secure there or center right. He's still dealing a little damage with his battle cruisers. He has a small group of medic marine in the center left, but I think this is all she wrote. Sulky is just slowly cleaning this up. He really needed to throw down a Dark Swarm, man. Pretty funny watching about 10 Hydras just get massacred by battle cruisers when you have defilers on the field. It's like a couple of Science Vessels going in for the eraser trick. And try to deal a little damage here. His army is still pretty reasonable. Whoa, he's forgotten completely about this. Ooh, big kills here in the bottom left-hand corner. So many drones going down. There's no... What? No burrow? There's really no burrow. 16 kill Science Vessel there. No burrow for the Zerg player at the 21-minute mark. Actually, he does have burrow. I saw him burrow his lings earlier. Maybe just forgetting about it. That is very unfortunate. I think Sulky maybe just fooling around a little bit here at this point. Thinking that he can't lose, but you can absolutely lose. If you make a couple of really bad mistakes here against Rush, he will absolutely close this game out on you. The more Ultras do pop out with the Dark Swarm. I'm going to be able to clear up everything. Marines and Medics running up to the top right-hand corner, but Lurkers on high ground will never be broken. Unless you get an insane amount, or if you get 3 irradiates here and then break through, maybe you can make something happen, but Plague on these Science Vessels. Still going to take a few seconds to deal with these, and that's more than enough time for Defilers and Lurkers to reinforce. Another base at 6 o'clock. I can't believe this game is still going on, guys. This is pretty ridiculous. Rush is so resilient. Big surround here on this army at the top right. So many medics in this fighting force. Everything gonna get cleaned up here. Kind of dancing the medics around a little bit. Is this Rush accepting defeat? I don't think so. He's got that base in the bottom center. But here comes the Defiler with the Dark Swarm. Should be able to clear up that last mining base. These Marines just spreading out in the middle. Ultra's overwhelming them. And Ultra plus Dark Swarm. The final killer of the 6 o'clock base. Rush taps out. GG. Sulky playing a masterful defensive game. Getting up to Ultra. About as quick as you can ever expect, unless you're going for some sort of crazy Zerg style. He played it out as naturally and normally as you could ever expect. He used his Mutalisks brilliantly, efficiently. First for the harassment of the Marine Medic, killing off a few workers. And then, of course, for the drop defense later on. Really, really nice play from Sulky. This is why he's one of my absolute favorite players. He crushes through the first Terran of this insane Terran lineup. Now he's going to go up against one of these 3 monstrous Protoss players. He gets the Clapper from KCM, a delayed Clapper, but a Clapper nonetheless. we'll be going on to that next game, guys. Game number 2 is coming right up. Okay, up next, Bisu versus Sulky. We're here on Revolver. Our Protoss hero spawning in the bottom right. Sulky, the Scourge of Zerg, down in the bottom left. This man is the hero in my heart, though. Let's be real here, guys. Sulky. I love you, buddy. Get in there, man. This guy is ridiculously good. Plays like an absolute boss in Starcraft 1 and Starcraft 2. So legit. Bisu, on the other hand, scumbag, takes a Nexus first. What the heck is this? Nexus first against, of course, the pool. Overpool, looks like. I guess he's going to be able to hold on. He starts the forge really quickly. Here comes the cannon. But damn, this is dirty. And greedy as hell. I guess Bisu sticking around here in the natural, making sure that no probes get pulled, or sorry, drones get pulled at least. Because we've seen before that can absolutely ruin this strategy. You pull the drones, surround the cannon, then send in the lings. Everything falls apart with this Nexus first, but looking at this from a 1,000-foot view, man, it looks pretty unstoppable. The Nexus first in Protoss versus Zerg. And it seems like Nexus first in every matchup has just become the norm. Bisu able to pull it off here. He's going to have a lot of probes early. Going to be feeling real nice going into this mid-game. Ooh, but he loses the probe. Losing the probe is never a comfortable position to be in as the Protoss, even when you have a good starting economy like the one Bisu has here. Losing that early probe means you are in the dark. You're not going to see much of anything here in the early game. Don't know if there's a lair coming or whether a Hydralisk Den was thrown down immediately after the probe died. You're just going to have to take it on faith that the Zerg player is not going to be Hydra busting you. It's not a very good map for Hydra bust, so it's a pretty safe bet. But sometimes when a map is not good for Hydra bust, that's when it becomes really good for Hydra bust. Coincidentally. Just because people aren't expecting it, sometimes that can make a build good. Fortunately for Bisu, though, his little gamble here gonna pay off. Just a normal build from Sulky, progressing naturally, getting his Spire out in good time, and keeping an eye on the front here, making sure Bisu's not sending out early zealots to harass his economy. Taking a lot of liberties here. Sulky eating up or just producing a ton of drones. Already adding on his additional hatches as well. There you go. Going up to 5 hatch already. Only 4 zealots are out on the field so far. They don't have +1 or that speed upgrade, so I think another 8 or so lings should be able to surround and kill this efficiently. Just a bit of pressure being applied to the Zerg will force a few more lings out here. Oh, does lose a drone though. Losing a drone was not supposed to happen in this situation. He does get the good surround, plus the moves with the drones are pretty good. So everything does get cleared up. That was not too bad for Bisu, though. He sees what's going on. He forces those links. He kills a drone. Kind of the best you can hope for right now with just those few early zealots. It's really hard. I very rarely understand the nuance here in these games as to what is the reason for a move out like that. That 4 zealot move out without any speed or attack. It seems strange to me. It looks like another cannon going to be canceled here. Wow. He's been dealing with this cannon very nicely. Is he going to try and Ogrerzerg Gamer his way into the main? 2 kills on that Dark Templar. No Overlord here in the third, or in the natural, excuse me. That is brutal. Oh, gonna pull back pretty quickly, though. 3 drones go down. A 4th and possibly a 5th. 5 drones are picked off in Sulky's natural. That's painful. And a bunch more Corsairs and cannons being warped in here to the main base. Very unlikely that Bisu will lose to an Ogrerzerg Gamer play. I think the natural is much more vulnerable. He has a few seconds here before these cannons warp in. He's killing off quite a few of the Corsairs. Only 3 Corsairs left. Another group of Scourge come in, but another Corsair does pop out. He's going to get the moving shot here as well. Start to kill off a lot of these Muta. And as the Mutas go down, Scourge going to fly in and try to connect. Great moves with the Corsair, though. Epic juke there. Keeping his 3 Corsairs alive. And winning that battle overall. Sulky going to transition to the next stage of the game. Adding on a ton more drones and getting up into Hydralisk tech. Big Mutas are pretty much out of the picture for now. May still produce a few Scourge to deal with these Corsairs, but I don't think he will want to produce many more Mutas from this position. There's already an Archon out. There's still more Corsairs being produced. He's not going to win this battle with just pure air. He's adding on more sunken colonies. Even another one back here in the corner. To try to defend with Static D alone. Ooh, going after the Extractor. A free kill on the Gas Geyser there. Bisu will absolutely take those. Mutas and Scourge going to come in for another dive into the main. These Sunkens are in way too good a position. Here comes the Corsair. Scourge connecting. Only two Corsairs left over. Uh-oh, not really blocking here. Sulky needed to pull drones to defend this attack. But these Zealots are going to run right up into the main base after killing one of the sunken colonies. Going to start to go to work here on some drones. Of course, Mutas will eventually clean this up, but it takes a lot longer than you would think. These Zealots last for quite a bit, killing off a few drones there. But eventually they all do wind up going down. 3 cannons in the main. Bisu is so hip to what Sulky had planned this game. He's just not letting it happen at all. He's staying here in the main base, having enough Corsairs, having enough cannons to just deal with these attacks. Doing so well with it. Sulky's still making Mutas, man. This is weird. Pretty awkward. This style here of what Sulky's been going for. He's stuck on 3 bases. Still producing sunken colonies as well. Lings popping out. I mean, we've got Zealots and Archons. That's pretty much the best thing that you can have to fight against Lings. Storms are pretty damn good too, but they're hard to land when Lings are running in kind of willy-nilly. It's very difficult to get good hits with the storms, and you know, Zealots can be easily, or excuse me, High Templars can be surrounded and killed. Looks like he's gonna get this High Templar. Nice pick. Very nice pick there. But still, the problem of this army is a massive problem. He's gonna fly into the main again? Oh my gosh. I feel like Bisu is even more prepared than the previous time, and he was so prepared last time for this play. Gonna come in here and try to kill off this gas. Wow, alright. Bisu gonna commit now towards these Sunkens, but the eggs come out. He just morphs a whole bunch of eggs, and he's gonna take down this third base. Wow, Solki getting in here, dealing a lot of damage to this third. I'm not sure if he can actually clear this, but he's killed off all of the cannons here and slowed things down a little bit for Bisu. Lurkers are now popping out. The Sim City back there was amazing. Solki would just builds a whole bunch of units there, fills up all the cracks. If you didn't know, your larva is on the wrong side of the hatches. Oh, a few more kills there on Corsairs, but if your larva is on the right side of your hatch and you group the larva in with any unit that you have and hit stop, all of the larvae will move to the left side of your hatcheries. So that's a trick that you can use in order to pull off moves like that. See the hatchery on the far right in the natural. The eggs or the larvae kind of pop out on the right hand side, and if you use that trick, you can move them over to the left, and then when you build the eggs, it's going to block everything off. Now, Solki's moving out with a pretty serious force here, a lot of lurkers, and the transition into Dragoons hasn't fully happened just yet. There are a few popping out, but this is a pretty decent fighting force against what Bisu has at the moment. Only 3 Templars here in the natural. Lurkers are still sitting on high ground. Whoa, we had a marked fall in the video quality here. I'm not sure exactly what happened. I'm gonna try and take a look. Yeah, somehow we dropped down. I'm gonna fix that and I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Not sure what was going on there. Seems to be possibly happening again. No, we're still on 1080p. Sometimes we do struggle a bit with the Africa TV server. Whoa, 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 whoa. Streaming from South Korea is a little bit rough. Streaming videos from a South Korean server, I should say. It's like Solki's got himself in a bit of a position here. This is way too many Hydras, though. You just cannot fight pure Zealot against Hydras massed up to that extent. Lurkers are getting attacked, stormed, and pushed back. Solki doing the smart thing, though, and rotating his Lurkers, the ones that have been stormed, to the back of the pack. Allow them to do a little more damage before they do get taken out. Bisu's mining happily here on 3 bases, and Solki has secured upper left. It's not 100% though, because we do have this pack of Zealots roaming around looking for an additional base to pick off. He does need to reinforce that upper left and try to keep that alive. I feel like Solki being a little bit careless with that upper left base. If that gets picked off, he's going to be forced into an all-in situation here. Whereas if he keeps his army, or a little bit of his army, up towards that top left, at least he won't lose anytime soon. I feel like if he loses that top left base, it's going to be really bad for Solki. Quite a large contain here. but not tight enough to prevent Bisu from taking another base. He's going to grab that base just a bit to the south. Snagging that will secure Bisu's economy here for a long time. He can fight for an amazingly long time as the Protoss player on 4 bases. He could take this to 25, maybe 30 minutes long and not mine out here if he manages to hold this. Huge amounts of Hydras spreading out here. Storms not the greatest, but still dealing damage. Overlords coming in and tanking shots from these Dragoons. Meanwhile, run into the natural. Huge dive in here. And the Lurkers even running up the ramp, getting into position on top of the rallies, going after the robotics facility. Interesting choice here. Sulky just going to focus that down. Big surround here on his army as these Lurkers on the low ground get picked off. The Hydras will be finished, but Sulky got as much as he could out of that. Did his best to pick off as many Templars as possible. Killed the Robo as well, so that is something. But Sulky's army has been dramatically reduced. He no longer has that contain on Bisu. Bisu has the 4th base. Even bases in ZVP is never good for the Zerg, so Sulky gonna be scrambling here to take the game into the next phase, get Defilers out and Cracklings, where Bisu's going to be filling out his army with the strongest possible units, Archons, possibly Reavers as well, tons and tons of Templar. With 4 gas, you can absolutely make it happen. Zealots, never bad, but they get less and less useful as time goes on here. DT gonna find his way into the top left and scout out this base. Surprised Bisu didn't scout it earlier with his roaming Zealot army. Could have shut that down, but now Sulky is well established. He's got 3 sunken colonies up there. Plenty of Overlord coverage as well. He's going to be snagging his next base at the natural in the top left. That's a lot easier to defend. You can throw down a few buildings there and take good fights. Sulky going to try and split his army now, sending an army to the center right, looking for a point of weakness in Bisu's army, in Bisu's defenses. These Lurkers here appear to be Sulky's point of weakness, though. As Bisu pushes forward, he senses a lack of backup for these Lurkers. Ooh, 2 pickoffs on observers. How many observers do we have left for Bisu? I'm sure that he's remade his robotics facility by now. But still not too many obs out at the moment. Just 1 that I can see. More Lurkers being sent forward. A desperate back and forth here as Bisu tries to mount this high ground. Sulky with the defense here, eating some big storms on the flank and on the front line. Bisu is going to crack through here. Sulky forced to fall back on both flanks. And a map control gets handed over to Bisu. He can now roam the map relatively freely here without that Lurker contain to slow him down. And where will he head with this big army? Gonna head towards the top left. No, he needs to defend this counterattack here of Hydras through the bottom. The moment that that's been routed is going to change his location. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Lurkers trying to make their way back onto that high ground to re-secure, but this army is sticking around that area. Big storms fall on all the Hydralisks. So many of them get picked off. And Sulky's army just not looking that scary, man. He needs the Ling transition Ling Lurker is one of the best army compositions against Protoss. Of course, Defilers being added in makes it all the sweeter, but getting into that Ling transition is so important. No Hive yet. Layers still on 5 bases. That seems highly unusual. It's just a testament to how back and forth this game has been between these two. The entire time, Sulky kind of hanging on. Bisu batting away attack after attack after attack. And now finally pushing his way up towards this 3rd base, landing some good storms. Where are the lurkers in this army? Well, not very many zealots are present, so lurkers not the biggest deal. Hydras are what's going to be necessary to clear out this army. Lings would be very helpful as well against all of these Dragoons, but the last the Hydras gets picked off, there's really not much left here for Sulky. Bisu gonna back off though. GG is called. Sulky knows he can't win from this position. And Bisu knocks him down, gets the clapper from KCM, a mini clapper. Looks like a golf clap right there. Come on, KCM, you can do better than that. Bisu deserves a full-fledged clapper for that performance. He hasn't been out for a little while here in KCM, but he comes back with style, takes down Sulky, and advances to the next round. Royal or Light will be his opponent. Let's jump into game number 3. All right, heading on into our next game here. Got Royal coming out for the Terran squad. He spawned in the top right-hand corner here on Vermeer, and Bisu down in the bottom left, not opting for a Nexus first. His opponent is going for a nice little wall in here. Barracks. I guess it's supply, barracks, CC, supply. So very economically focused early game here out of Royal. And he's going to get away with it very nicely here as well. No Zealot coming across the map. But even if there was, he has a beautiful little Sim City here in the front. His CC will be coming up real nice and early. That bunker already on the way. Royal is looking to be in a good spot here. I'm not sure what kind of pressure Bisu can put on his opponent in this type of cross-map position, besides getting range early and just trying to hit that bunker. I think that's really his only option here, as Royal is already getting his gas and transferring his workers over. I think Bisu would be well served to throw down a second Nexus here once he figures out what's up. He has his Dragoon back at home, waiting for that SCV to come. No range. Okay, no range. Going straight into robotics facility. That's interesting. So skipping that range, going for Robo. He's going to be able to deny the scout at least, so Royal's not going to know that range has been skipped here. Of course, he will be getting that range a little bit later, but this will allow him to get the Reaver out much quicker. Okay, range has started now. Second SCV heading out on the map. That should have been spotted by Bisu. He is going to continue to chase here. Another Dragoon will be out in good time to deal with that next scouting SCV. Royal throwing down his double factory now in the main. What is this? Ah, an eBay. Follow up here. No academy. Just being nice and safe. Gonna get that eBay out. Throw down a turret in the front. Make sure that he doesn't have any DTs wandering into his base. And may end up setting up a turret ring here. Royal is very, very good at taking the game late here in TVP. Has no problem sitting comfortably on 3. and 4 bases for a very long time before pushing out across the map. Bisu, I'm not sure how confident he is here to take a long game, or if he wants to try and break his opponent early. It seems like he's going to put on a little pressure with this Reaver and grab a quick Expo down at the bottom right, possibly. Oh, this is actually a Dragoon. I was thinking that was a probe. A second gateway as well. That's not really what I was expecting. I was thinking that we were going to see Bisu double expand here, but he's going to challenge Royal 2 base to 2 base for a little bit. I feel like that's a bit of a mistake, as Royal is getting all the defenses. He has the turret ring. It's going to be done well in time for this attack. He has floating buildings. He has vultures with mines. He may end up even losing this Dragoon. Vultures here have speed, so he's going to pull away, of course. Oh! Slight mistake there, pulling away that one vulture a little bit too late, loses it. That shouldn't actually have happened, but Bisu does get away with 1 kill at least. Still not a great trade. 1 vulture for 1 Dragoon is never a good trade. Here is Bisu flying into the main. He turns around immediately. Royal also denied from entering that 3rd base area. The Nexus will be thrown down without harassment. And Bisu's going to snag that. Well, this is already a pretty favorable game, I think, for Terran. His turrets have all paid off very well. He didn't spend an extreme amount on those turrets. He built exactly the right amount to deal with this early Reaver. He expanded the earliest possible time. He's already picked off a Dragoon. He's slowing down this attack. Oh, the shuttle made its way in. Picks off a few of those SCVs there. Gonna get another shot. Nice. 3 more kills. Pretty darn good. 3 more kills. Wow. Very nice. This is not what I was expecting from this from the shuttle. I was really thinking it was about to be killed really quickly as it was flying in here. Eventually it will be picked off. These Marines are gonna deal that last few damage. Okay. Doesn't get 1 more shot. I think if he drops that, he loses it anyway. So Bisu just keeping it there as a distraction. We didn't get to see how many kills were on that Reaver, but I believe around 8 or 9 kills total on SCVs. That's pretty damn good. And the small advantage I gave to Royal earlier has been completely reversed here. Bisu in a decent spot now with that damage being done. I don't think that he can deny this 3rd base that's about to float forward and land, but he's switching now into carrier. And with Royal slowed down a little bit because of those earlier kills, he might not have nearly as strong of a timing attack here to deal with this carrier tech switch. Here comes the Reaver again. Oh, he's gonna lose that. Oh, he doesn't drop the Reaver. That's a bit unfortunate there. Does get the turret and a couple of SCV kills, but not nearly as good as that first attack. And Royal is going to unsiege and move across the map. Kind of a wild attack here. Royal kind of feeling himself right now that maybe after killing off those 2 Reavers, Bisu just not going to have the muscle to fight back against this army. Royal rushing forward here. He's 20 supply behind. So it's not in a fantastic spot to prosecute this attack, but still feeling pretty good. Ooh, that's a little bit rough. Losing that early tank before the engagement starts, that definitely hurts. Gonna set up some mines on the flank here. Push towards the natural. Bisu has actually thrown down a 4th base to the left of this position. And Royal gonna set up here on the right-hand side. Try to kill all of these probes and this Nexus. That would be a great kill if he can start to pick those off. I think picking up these probes with the shuttle would be a really good idea right now. Instead, he's gonna dive forward on this. Unsieging there, preventing the splash. Really nice play. Oh, running in with the Dragoons. The Observer just lagging behind a tiny bit, and he loses 2 Dragoons immediately. Only 4 Dragoons left over here, and they're going to get splashed if they stick around much longer. Does back off with that. The Nexus goes down. All of the probes die. And Royal has just completely turned the tides in this game. It is so hard to do this, guys. I cannot stress that enough, to choose the perfect time as a Terran player to attack. The moment that Bisu lost that 2nd Reaver, Royal scans the main and sees the carrier tech, and he's like, no, you can't lose both Reavers and go carriers and expect to hold my push with just the gateway units that you have. There's no way that you have speed on your Zealots. He unsieges everything and sends it directly across the map. I've seen so many Terran players die by doing an attack like this, a mid-game attack right after taking a 3rd base. But Royal just making it work so nicely, like making it look like there's no other way to play this game, honestly. Slamming through here and crushing yet another base. This looks like an easy win from this position here for Royal. Just needs to continuously rally up the Goliath. He even has a bunch of Marines in here just to add that extra little bit of DPS. The mines right here. Very annoying. Single tank. Holding down the fort on the right-hand side. Will get picked off, but at the cost of another Dragoon. Royal exceeding Bisu's supply by quite a lot for this matchup. Only 10, but still, it is a significant advantage. There are a lot of carriers here, actually. The Zealots are very slow. A lot of them are going to get picked off easily as they run forward. However, they are buying enough time here for the carriers to start to deal their damage. Wow, that is a lot of carriers. Not too many interceptors left over, but they are clearing out the remainder of these Goliaths and starting to shove everything back. Royal needs to get on the retreat here. He's definitely going to end up losing a few tanks as these retreat. He's dealing quite a bit of damage to one of these carriers. I'm not sure which one it is, but all of these tanks may end up going down. Goliaths are running up to try and get the save here, but they only managed to keep 3 tanks alive, so a good hold there by Bisu. He managed to get up to 6 carriers. That magic number manages to keep him alive for now. Another Nexus coming up, that 3rd Nexus being thrown down. Once again, the 4th base is up now for Royal. Oh man, his economy just out of control right now. And I don't think Bisu can afford to sit back on his haunches and not deal any damage with these carries. He's got to get out there and start to harass, pull Royal in multiple directions and try to take good trades here. He's mounting this high ground. There are tanks nearly within range of this position. Of the observers wind up going down. That's going to make it harder for Bisu to move around the map with this army, with this ground army. A Reaver in here dealing a lot of splash to some of these Goliaths. But the Goliaths are still in such a high number. The interceptors are just getting completely destroyed. Ooh. Vulture counterattack. Dealing some damage here. Mines connect as well. Still no Zealot speed, so these Vultures are doing very well in this harassment. Bisu falling back, but his supply dipping dangerously low. 132 to 175. It's not looking good here. Only 4 tanks in this area as the other 2 siege up. He does once again back off, just picking off a few stray Goliaths and then retreating once again. Still, so many interceptors are being lost, and Bisu just doesn't have the economy to continuously replenish those over and over again while trying to expand and build up his army. He is really struggling here to keep it together. Sitting on 3 base again, just not good enough to deal with that 4 base Terran. Another base being thrown out in the bottom right for Royal. Taking advantage of the fact Bisu's army is so small. It's really hard to spread out any army to go and look at the bottom right hand corner right now. It looks like he's sending maybe 1 Zealot or something like that to the bottom right. That might be able to deny the building of that command center. No, it's something else. I don't know what that is down there. But it's not actually scouting that location. Just kind of hanging out in the corner for now. These carriers in a bit of a rough spot there. Taking quite a bit of damage. The entire army is here. An EMP goes off on every single carrier, weakening them significantly. These Goliaths surrounding the ground army. The Reaver doing its best to deal splash to the Goliaths. A Vulture run by here into the 3rd base. Every probe goes down. And Bisu hollers GG. An excellent, crisp timing attack from Royal, picking off Bisu in his prime right before he gets to that scary carrier number. He takes out that 3rd base and executes this Protoss on Vermeer. All right, we've still got more games to come, guys. Royal's going to be going up in the next round against either Soma or Hero. That'll be game number 4. Let's get it going. All right, what up, guys? I am back. It is Friday already. Wow, time just flies by when you're working and saving up money. Damn, it just goes so quickly. Holy crap. Weeks slip into months. And before you know it, a year is going to have gone by already. It'll be time for me to head out on the road again. I'm going to be heading out in October, so geez, just like 3 more months left of saving money. And then Mio and I will be taking off. Damn, it's coming right up. Anyway, I'm going to get into this game. We are on Monopoly here. Is this Monopoly? Yeah. Triangular map. We've got the island in the center. It's a 3-player map. Soma spawning here in the center right. Royal in the top left with 1 kill so far. Taking out Bisu in that last one. One of the rare games where you see Protoss get into a large number of carriers and still get beaten down. Royal doing a great job of controlling that game, hitting his timings properly. We'll see if he can do the same here against Soma, one of our most aggressive Zerg players, if not our most aggressive Zerg player. See what kind of strategy he has for us today. About to get scouted here. Royal sending that SCV in towards the base, tries to block it. Actually, just getting the moving shot instead. That's pretty darn good. Putting about half damage onto the SCV already. It will get in here though and spot the lair. 2 hatch mutas so far from Soma. He may end up throwing down that 3rd hatch in just a moment. But so far everything's lining up to be just your standard 2 hatch muta. Looks like 3 Marines have actually snuck out of the main. These 3 Marines are going to get spotted though. And someone going to start some Lings. You can definitely deal with this, no problem. I think the plan here was to get into the natural, get a couple of kills with these Marines, but does get spotted there. He recognizes that. He's going to fall back. And maybe he forced a few extra Lings out. I think he forced a sunken colony, which was then cancelled. So a little bit of back and forth there. A little bit of chicken being played by Royal, walking out with 3 Marines. That could be a big blow if those had gotten picked off. But also getting a couple of drones would have been a great advantage for Royal. So taking a little risk there. Thinks better of it though, pulls away. The last minute. Now we've got some Lings coming up here. No bunker just yet, and he won't be producing one. Just going to rely on some SimCity here with the supply depot. Has enough Marines now to hold off quite a lot of Lings. If Soma was to go for a Ling all-in here, it would be tough. If Royal's sitting behind that supply depot in good position. But I don't think that's the plan. Soma is getting quite a few drones here. He's even getting a creep colony. So yeah, definitely not going to be a Ling all in here. He'll be getting into mutas shortly and defending his 3rd base while producing constant mutas. Actually only got 1 drone on the gas geyser there at the natural. That's a little bit interesting. Okay, switching now, adding on another drone. The balancing of gas here is very cool. I haven't seen that a whole lot. Generally, once you get that gas geyser at the natural, you're gonna just continuously mine off of that. Building an evolution chamber here in the front. He cancels it at perfect timing. Big stim here, running forward onto 2 sunken colonies. These Mutalisks are doing a great job of killing off the Marines, and the Marines do not focus one or the other sunken colony. Both survive with very low HP. Royal making a big blunder there, trying to attack in just as the Mutalisks were popping out. He wanted to go for the breakthrough there. I think even if he killed both of those sunken colonies, the rally of mutas should have been able to finish things off. So I'm not sure what the full thinking was there for Royal going up against 2 hatch muta with 2 sunken colonies in the front. Man, that seemed like a anti-timing there, in my opinion. But he went for it. He almost broke through. And that's how a lot of these TVZs will end. Almost breaking through is actually worse than not even trying. Way worse than not even trying, because now Soma has complete control here. He can drone up freely at his 3rd base. Get that gas geyser going. He can take this game in any direction that he wants. He can go for an early Queen's Nest into Hive. He can continuously produce some Mutalisks and try to go all in. Looks like the plan here going to be switching into Hive right away. We may end up seeing him just go all in, try to get a Defiler here into the natural of Royal while he's trying to tech out of the situation. He has no presence on the map at all. He's sitting back here behind this depot, which is being used to just ricochet glaives off onto the army. Very annoying stuff here for Royal. Soma just staying back. He's not committing all the way in. And it makes sense with what he's doing right now, getting his evolution chamber. Okay, with that added evolution chamber, I think we're not going to see the all-in Defiler Lurker attack here into the natural. That doesn't really make sense. He's also added on a lot more drones than I think he would need to make that happen. So we're probably going to see additional hatcheries be thrown down, some macro hatches, maybe a 4th base here relatively soon. And he's going to be getting Defilers out. He's going to be getting those Carapace upgrades and eventually transitioning into a late game with Ultralisk out on the field. So Soma here, what are the challenges? Well, he has a base down at the bottom center. That base does not have a natural. It is just a lone base. Generally, when we think about Zerg versus Terran, the Zerg player kind of wants to grab another main so that they can easily move down the ramp and snag the natural with a couple of Dark Swarms and Lurkers. That way they can defend easily in just 2 locations. Plus drops, of course, you need that drop defense, but you don't have to defend in 3 locations. If Soma takes a 4th here, no matter where he decides to take it, he's going to add another location where he has to defend by ground. Another location where Royal can possibly move in and break him. Some good micro here in the front. Where will Soma be taking that next base, though? That's the big question I feel here. Does he just start sending Defilers across the map? There's that Defiler mound. It will be difficult for Royal to deal with that. But if he starts to snag map control, it'll be incredibly difficult for Soma to get that 4th base going. So let's see what happens here. A very strange map. Monopoly hasn't been fully worked out by the pros just yet. There's still a lot of room for discovery as to what builds are optimal here, what builds are possible. And we're seeing probably one of the longest ZVTs we've had on Monopoly is forming here. Royal is nowhere close to being dead right now. He, of course, is behind from that early attack. He hasn't been able to take map control as of yet, but now he's starting to move out on the map. He's starting to put that pressure on. Soma still doesn't have a 4th. He is adding on more hatcheries. He's got, of course, Lurkers as well. And drop defenses are prepared. Double evolution chamber as well with a Nidus network. He's being very conservative on 3 bases. Battening down the hatches, ready for the storm, which Royal is about to bring with these dropships. Double drop could be very impactful here, but it could also backfire brutally against Royal if he loses those dropships out on the map. He is going to be in big trouble. 4 drops. Wow, he is going really hard here towards the main. 4 dropships is a huge commitment. He's going to try his best to deal massive damage here towards the main. Meanwhile, Soma going to jump into the natural. I bet he wishes he had these Mutas back at home right now. Lurker's going to burrow. One of the dropships gets picked off immediately. So many Hydras here just ripping the Marines apart as they pop out. They're popping out piecemeal, 1 by 1. Very hard to stim Marines as they pop out of the dropships as well. So he's having a hard time here. The first Defiler is out. Will he target that down? No, he does not. Just going to target with the Hydras, picking off each Marine separately, 1 by 1. Only 1 medic can heal 1 Marine at a time. So as long as you focus them down with enough Hydras, you should be able to pick that off. There's 1 more Marine left over here in the main, and this drop is an utter failure. Soma just wiping this up easily in his main base. Of course, he did lose quite a few army units, but you'll absolutely take that in order to deflect an attack of this magnitude. A drop committal here of 4 dropships. That's so much gas, that's so much pressure that's just been released off of Soma, a base here in the center left. Royal gonna try and snag something over in this location, but if this base gets shut down by even just a small group of Lings, it's gonna be very difficult for Royal to continue here on just 2 bases for much longer. We're already 13 minutes in. I really feel like Royal has just a much worse idea of how to play this map out in comparison to what Soma has fielded here. The way that he's playing it makes so much more sense. I feel like if you're Royal here, you don't need to do these drops. That's another wasted drop there to the back of the main base. What you really need to do is just focus on dealing with any additional base that might come down. So that 4th base is finally started here for Soma. That's at that base that's kind of out in the middle. Really easy to deal with that base if you have a big map presence, but now that his map presence has been reduced so much, so many units have been killed off, Soma easily able to walk in here with the Defiler and sort of close things out. It's really difficult for Royal to deal with this. He's losing so much mining time as well. The Hydra's underneath Dark Swarm here, just holding down the fort, not allowing his units to progress and cut off further reinforcements. So another Defiler is going to arrive here. More Dark Swarms will be thrown down. More Lurkers will be made. Soma is about to drop out of the game. That's rare in Korea. I mean, he got 9 ping. Very, very low latency in Korea. So it's pretty rare that anyone ends up dropping, but it is possible. It has happened. Crazier things have happened, for sure. Looks like Soma just bringing the Hydras with the Dark Swarm, focusing down the command center. There it goes. Natural is dead. Royal just with almost no economy here left over is likely going to just tap out in another few moments. No more Lurkers have been made, so Hydra's fighting Firebats under Dark Swarm. Not the best trading. Oh, a dropship down here at 6. This is pretty good, actually. Wow, a lot of drones going to go down. The Nidus gets put to use, though. Bunch of units going to pop through there and deal with that attack. I guess a little bit of a bright side here to Royal, who's in so much trouble. Firebat's going to break through this. Dark Swarm, wow. Killing off those Lurkers. This is really back and forth. A lot more than it should be. Whenever you have a Dark Storm in your natural as a Terran player, it's, wow. Gets another Defiler, just not even casting a spell there. I'm flabbergasted right now, guys. I don't know what to say. How is Royal holding on right now? I feel like Soma making some serious mistakes. And, eating some real damage from a drop that never should have gotten through. I think he may have just kind of tapped out a little bit after getting that command center there in the natural. Now he's going to get over here and deal with this command center. 3 Lurkers going to get up on this high ground and start to annihilate these workers. Yeah, mineral walking through this is not going to save them. All of the SCVs will be going down. And that's going to shut down the last kind of mining area for Royal. More drops going to come through. Looks like he can deal more damage in this 3rd base here. The 4th is still mining nicely. He's going to send his dropship over to that area and slow that down a little bit. Try to kill some more workers here. Getting behind the mineral patch is nice. How many workers will be killed? Soma pulls immediately. Keeps a lot of them alive, but he's not going to be mining here for a little bit. Royal still fighting back, guys. He's still fighting back. He kept that command center, by the way, at center left. Whoa, 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 whoa. Trying to run forward there with the Defiler a little bit crazy. Too much going on right now for Soma. Getting a little bit distracted here. 2 Lurkers going to be destroyed in their eggs. Hydra's not the greatest fighting directly against Marine Medic. Looks like he's going to run forward here, trying to deal as much damage as he can, but the plague on every single science vessel going to make them so squishy for these Hydras, picking them off easily. Final Defiler running up here to the front. Wait a second. Doesn't throw down even a single spell. Royal just targets that down. And again, manages to hold on. He is on only 2 base, though. His opponent finally mining here on 4. Got the 4 gas economy. All you really need as Zerg here to close out a game against Terran. Get yourself into Ultralisk play if you wish. Doesn't seem like he does wish just yet. He's actually been upgrading his Hydralisk as well. So going just full Hydra Defiler Lurker has been working out nicely for him. But he does have that option with 4 gas to start popping out Ultra. Getting the plague on these science vessels, though, and then starting to pick them off is huge. I think with this final surround, he's going to pick off the last few science vessels, and GG is called. Wow, a back and forth game there. Soma controlling it for pretty much the whole time. Was in good control, but Royal, tenacious as ever, holding on for a ridiculous amount of time there, even after losing his natural command center, still making it a game. A great player, maybe not understanding the map quite as well as his opponent. His position made worse by some of the decisions that were made, but that's the way it goes. We're going to jump into our next game. Soma going up against this next Protoss. Nice, nice, nice. We're going to have Mini versus Soma on Eclipse. Be a great game. Forge first from Mini. Wow, interesting. Wouldn't expect that from Mini, who's so well known for his early Zealot control. He usually likes to put on that pressure in the early game, so mixing it up a little bit. Mini's going to start out with a cannon for the defense. He may be thinking about going for some sort of cannon rush here. Looks like he will be throwing down a pylon anyway. Ooh, this is dirty. No second probe has arrived just yet, but it looks like he's sending one out right now. That second probe coming across the map. 3 drones have been pulled. Is he going to try and hop over? Trying a little bit here with the hop, but not able to make it happen. What does Soma do from this position? Oh, he builds the assimilator so he can run through. Ooh, escapes using the assimilator and runs his probe up towards the main. Gets another probe in the back here. Some good micro. Oh, but he loses one of the probes there. Throws down another cannon. Gonna try and fight with this probe, but traps 1 drone in the back. Gets the second cannon started. This is a successful cannon rush, although with only 2 cannons, can he actually finish off the hatchery here? I don't think he can. He's gonna go after the egg. The egg is gonna be going down here. 2 sunken colonies have been made. That sunken colony looks like it can actually hit there. And Soma may actually be able to defend this. Like 1 creep colony is in range. Needs to cancel. He does. Saves his drone. Gonna send that back to work. He's killing his own pylons so that it can't be targeted by the sunken colony. Now he's gonna go after this hatchery. The hatchery here under fire. A lot of lings have been produced, though. I think that Soma can go ahead and kill these cannons, no problem. Coming after them with the lings now. Let's see how it goes. Difficult to get good surface area. He's going after the hatchery first and foremost, but the hatchery does not go down. Lings clear out the pylons and cannons. Wow, a really nice hold there from Soma. And unfortunately, Mini doesn't get the cannon. I think he only got 1 or maybe 2 drones, or quite a large investment there. 3 pylons, 2 cannons. I think one of the pylons he did cancel, but that is a not insignificant amount of money that's been spent there. Meanwhile, Mini back at home, just now starting his cybernetics core. His Nexus is almost finished, but Soma has his 3rd base up and running. Oh, not quite. Excuse me. Hasn't quite finished a building yet. He is mining healthily off his natural. He's going to trap this probe and kill it. Oh, the miss! The miss. 50% miss chance just as he walks up the ramp. Manages to escape death there. The probe will finally die, but he sees the timing on the gas. Knows that timing is a little bit behind where it would be in a normal game. Of course, a lot of Zerglings were built. And of course, and the Sunken Colony as well. Going for a Citadel here. And he's going to hit a timing here very early on with a ton of Zealots with speed. He may even go for Dark Templar as well. But Soma flying in with the Overlord, no fear here. And he's going to find out that he can chill in the main for quite a long time, as there's no Corsair coming for quite a while here. This, I don't understand. Why is Mini moving out with 3 Zealots when the initial Lings that have been produced by Soma should be able to deal with just 3 Zealots? That's a little bit confusing to me. He's going to send them back home, though. Not going to commit with them, at least. Dragoon pops out. We'll deal with this Overlord. Pretty worth. Kill that Overlord and have the Dragoon for the army. A few more gateways are warping in here, but Soma with perfect information about what his opponent is up to. No additional tech buildings have been warped in, so no surprises here from the side of Mini. It'll just be up to Soma to deal with whichever attack comes, whichever timing Mini decides to move out. It looks like 4 Zealot, 1 Dragoon gonna be the choice here. Just rallying out. Nice around there, Soma. Picking off 1 Zealot as it rallies forward. A big loss there to this tiny, tiny army from Mini. Does have, looks like, speed finishing up. +1 should be done very shortly here. And that'll be the timing to make this attack happen. We'll see what kind of damage you can get done. There are Sunken Colonies ready. And plenty of Lings have been produced. Gonna trap on top of this ramp. Nowhere to go. Mini is trapped here. It's like he can actually get down the ramp. No block there from Soma. I was expecting him to get behind that army and prevent it from going down the ramp, but it does manage to get down the ramp. More reinforcements going to arrive here. Lings on the 3rd base, denying that from going down. Soma has been very conservative here with his adding of hatcheries. He's only got 1 macro hatch thrown down so far. He's adding on quite a few Sunken Colonies, taking this very, very seriously. The 2nd macro hatch is now dropped here at the 3rd base. But Soma not getting too greedy. He's really, as I said, taking this very, very seriously. A Dark Archon being morphed in here. Hasn't been spotted. I'm very surprised a Dark Archon coming. I guess he must suspect a transition here into Mutalisk. I guess it makes sense, right? He doesn't have any anti-air. He doesn't have any Corsairs. So going Muta here is a great counter to what Mini has done so far. However, if this Archon gets its Maelstrom off and lands a Great Storm with a Templar, then this play will be completely shut down. He doesn't have the energy just yet, so he's keeping that back. Just gonna try to defend here with a Archon. Whoa, something wrong with the quality there. Hold on a second, I will fix it and be right back. All right, sorry about that, guys. A Hive is coming up now. Whoa, 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 what the heck? Feel like the Africa TV stream is all over the place. Dodging around this Archon, not allowing it to connect. These Zealots are bumping in the way. A couple of cannons do end up getting canceled. The Dragoon doing his best, but not able to get much done. This Dark Archon doesn't have the energy now. Really needs to make this work. If he can get it off, it will change the fortunes here in this game. But he needs to land this Maelstrom and the Storm pretty soon here. Okay, here we go. He does get it. Where's the Archon? Archon, Archon, go, 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 go. This does not last long. He's got to move. He's got to move. He's hitting it. He's hitting them. Oh, okay. Just 2 or 3 mutas end up dying. The Archon AI is so stupid it would not move forward, so he doesn't get the maximum damage that could have been had, but he does deal with this harassment. Those 5 mutas have been reduced just to 2. So looking good. Oh, Greater Spire. Wow, Soma goes for a Greater Spire here. I think this is due to the lack of Corsairs here, but I don't think this is going to be in time. Soma has a couple of mutas on this side. He's got no mutas on the other side. Just popping out a few more right now, but he needs to defend this attack that's coming up. This Dragoon Zealot Templar force is about to hit his natural is pretty scary. Does he have the... does he have some observers, though? Where are the observers? Hold on. If he doesn't have an observer with his army, he's pretty screwed. Yeah, he doesn't have one. Uh-oh, that is bad news for Mini. Forgetting to throw out observers. That's really going to throw a wrench into things in terms of his ability to prosecute this attack. Meanwhile, Soma's going to buy a whole bunch of time. He's going to try to cancel this attack. This Lurker is worth more than gold here. The Zerglings are going to go to work on that Nexus. I think the Nexus gets killed. Yeah, look at that. He's not even going to waste a storm there to kill that one single Lurker, which I really feel like he should, and just start that base again. Some Guardians are being morphed over the natural. This could be the killing blow, honestly. I mean, he's building 1 Stargate right now. I guess you could go for a Scout here. Scout does pretty darn good against Guardians. They do full damage, and their damage against air is really, really good, but it's a long way off here. And these Guardians are already killing probes. Lot of economic damage here. Really frustrating Mini a whole heck of a lot. This is not really how we see pro level Protoss versus Zergs go. It's much more focused on the ground units, Zealots, Templar, Dragoons, and of course Corsairs in the early game, kind of dominating the air. But because he skipped Corsairs, man, he's really suffering here. A Scout does pop out, but he just doesn't have the masses of units to hold on at his 4th base. Mini gonna lose this big chunk of Dragoons. He's gonna lose his base as well, sending a little bit too much to deal with that Guardian threat. Now Mini is in big trouble here as Soma snags double expansions, 1 in the bottom right-hand corner, 1 in the top center. Mini still not able to grab his 4th base just yet. Slightly behind Soma in terms of that economy at least. Especially since he can't mine off of this natural. Finally going to deal with that with the one scout. The one kill scout does manage to make his presence known. The Dark Archon gets picked off there. But a Ling counterattack making its way into the natural. Going to start to take things apart for Mini, who's pushing up towards this 4th base. But can he actually make this work? The Templars are running forward. He's dealing with too much back at home. He's not able to focus on any one area. And someone going to take full advantage. He picks off that hatch. Or excuse me, that Nexus. This hatch over here at the top center. I'm not sure if it's going to end up going down. There's more reinforcements coming across the map. Just going for the kill here. Mini not going to be able to hold on to his 4th. I don't know if he can even hold on to his 3rd right now. 4 cannons is a lot, but it's not enough to deal with this many Hydras plus Lurkers. So many probes are going to fall here. The Zealots are coming up to help, but there's no vision. The Lurker egg on the ramp and the lack of observers in this base means every single probe going to wind up going down here. GG. Scout falls and Mini taps out. Soma is your victor. Some pretty cool transitionary play there, going into Guardians, recognizing the lack of anti-air. I feel like Mini did a good job of covering that in the early game, of course, going for that Dark Archon and Maelstrom. Helped him out against the Mutalisks, kept him alive, but not having the observers there for that attack towards the natural, and of course not having some really reliable anti-air to deal with those Guardians was very hurtful. Just got a message on Blizzard, guys. I'm going to jump into the next game. That's what that sound was, just letting you know. Let's go into our next game. All right. Down to business. No more small talk, boys. Going straight into this one. Soma versus Light. A classic matchup here. Our most aggressive Zerg player versus our most passive and solid macro Terran. We'll see if Light can weather the storm and take this to a late game. Eventually wear down Soma. Or will Soma go all in? We'll see. We'll see what happens. That last game was a nice one. Mini tried to get a little fancy, skipping over Corsair, but Soma took good advantage of it. Now you can see exactly why Corsair, that early Stargate, is just so standard in the matchup. Really deals with a lot of shenaniganry that Zerg can pull out with Muta and Guardian, all that kind of crap. So in this game, we're going to see Soma take on Light. He's starting out with that 2 base build, 2 hatch Muta, most likely. He's been really favoring a quick 3rd base afterwards. Just holding that on, or holding on to that for the gas. And this is a very different map here. We are on Allegro, I believe. Allegro does have a 3rd base to the north at the 12 o'clock, but you can also snag the upper left-hand corner. That's even farther away from the Terran, so that's probably the base we'll end up seeing Soma take here. Meanwhile, Light going for a 2 racks play. 2 racks, no eBay. Gonna bring out 2 medics, about 8 marines, stim pack, and go. The most likely scenario here from Light, what he's planning to do. Speed is already done on these Lings, so he cleans up this SCV before it can make its way into the main. That is some good information, though. He sees how many drones are at the natural, and he's gonna move out now. 7 Marines and 2 medics. So pretty much dead on. He closes the door behind him as well. He's going to lose a bit of health on this on this supply depot. But nothing serious. Sunken colony on the way. Once sunken should be enough to hold on with a few lings in tow. We'll have to see though if he wants to surround and kill this. Yeah, the sunken colony timing just perfect here from Soma. And Light does have to back off. Now he's going to run on back home because in a moment here, Soma is going to have Mutas out and enough lings to surround and kill this army. So he does want to head directly back home now. Oops, the medics walking off on their own for a moment. That's no good, but they don't get punished. So Light is fine here. The base being taken in the top left-hand corner. He does want to grab that base with the easy natural to take. This is a much more standard map than Monopoly. That 3-player map we saw earlier, where things did get a little dicey for Soma in that game versus Royal. Here he's going to have a nice easy 4th base at the bottom of his 3rd. That natural of the top left-hand corner. But we'll see if he decides to play it out with Hydra plus Defiler like previous. Now, diving into the natural here. Could run up into the main, adding on a bunch of Sunkens back at home, but they're a little slow. These Marines are already here. And the Sunkens are about halfway done. Mutas are popping out, but they're not in time. Is Light going to go for this? He needs to go now. He doesn't pull the trigger, and it's already too late. Soma does back off with his own Mutas, so leaving the natural there might have been the reason why Light decided not to pull the trigger on that attack. 2 more Sunkens being made as well. 3 Sunkens here. Going right in. Can Light break this? No, I don't think so. And now his army has been reduced a little bit, and Soma just going to take care of these Marines and medics. Ooh, a big misstep there by our Terran player. Really unfortunate that he decided to pull the trigger at that moment. 3 sunken colonies in a line like that, definitely too much. And he has his first Marine group wiped out. Now going to be losing some SCVs, some turrets here in the natural as well. This is a really abusable location. Just below the gas geyser here. Very hard to get enough Marines down into that corner. It's tough to build turrets in that area as well. So someone's just going to take full advantage of that area. He also knows he has no threat here of a Marine counterattack. So he could absolutely re-drone, but it seems like he's not doing that right now. A ton more Mutas and Lings are being produced. There's only 3 drones at the natural. They're all mining minerals as well. So Soma is a little bit all in here. He really wants to get the kill right now. More and more Mutas being added. An armory is coming up, so there's a ticker. There's a timer ticking here, where the Valkyrie will eventually come out and start to push this away. So Soma has to do his damage right now and either transition into drones or try to flood Lings through the natural when the Marine number is low enough to take over this natural and try to dive into the main, clear out those barracks and win the game. He's killed all the Marines here. Where's the Ling flood? Does he have it? There it is. GG. Lings flood to natural. More Mutalists arrive and Light taps out. Soma, 3-kill streak. Can he be stopped? Movie is his next opponent. We'll see if he can shut him down. Big sigh there from KCM and his co-caster. I believe this is Piano on screen. If not, let me know in the comments down below. Actually, I think it's Piano, but I cannot be sure. Anyway, let's jump into the next one. All right. Soma versus Movie. Movie here in the top right. Soma in the bottom right of Butter. A 2-player map. Vertical spawns always on the right-hand side. This is a very unique map in our current ASL map pool. You've got your natural in a pretty normal location, but no high to low ground there. The main base is on low ground. Then you've got a third that is also on low ground, just around the corner. Or an alternative third, just north or south of the main base, that is on high ground. And of course, on the left-hand side of the map, a whole bunch of low and high ground. And no islands here. Those are all bases that can be taken by ground. Very high ground in kind of a boomerang shape on the left side. It's not as important in this matchup, particularly. Mostly we want to focus around the right-hand side of the map here. Those bases are going to be much easier to hold, both for Protoss and Zerg. And the natural here is quite tight. I think that Movie won't have much of a difficulty in holding any sort of Ling attack here early. He's already got his wall-in set up. It's a very long rush distance as well, so that cannon should be done in time. You can see Soma started out here at the pool first. Does not want to contest a Movie cannon rush. Oh no, hold on here. These Lings are a little bit too early. The cannon not built on time will finally finish up. Loses its shields only. And Movie is going to be fine here. Loses one probe. One probe going down. Bit rough for Movie. And make it into the main base as well here. And this will be a thorn in the side here of Movie for quite a while. 2 Lings controlled by Soma can do a lot of harassment in a Protoss base, so look for these to get several more kills here before they are eventually cleaned up. That first Zealot coming out does make things a little bit easier, but he still could end up losing a few of his workers here. That Zealot is very slow. Some pretty good micro on both sides so far. Only 1 probe total has been lost. A little mining time here and there as well. Soma is droning up back at home. Oh! Oh, he almost got that hit. But a second probe does fall. Oh! Still keeping that alive. Very nicely done. Back at home, also droning up really hard here. He knows he doesn't have any Zealots to worry about. He's got that Overlord over the natural. Sees just the first Zealot moving out now. We'll have to track and kill that Zealot. But he should be absolutely fine. Just build about 4 to 6 Lings. And that Zealot shouldn't be a problem. He's adding on his additional hatches now. Getting into his Spire. No Hydralisk bust here. Just taking his advantages and rolling them forward. Trying to get himself into a good macro position here. Where he can fight a nice long game. He's even got speed on his Lings. Just crossing all the T's here, making sure that he has everything he needs to hold off any attacks. He actually jumps right on the cannon. Wow, that cannon went down so quick. The speed on these Lings, allowing him to get that cannon and 3 probes. Soma really putting the screws to Movie here. YSU Movie Star feeling the pain in this early game. Does have a Stargate on the way, although it is quite a late Stargate, even later than the Spire. So I'm not sure if he'll get any overlords besides this one sitting right outside the natural. We'll be able to at least scout things out, though. So long as Scourge don't catch this Corsair immediately upon leaving the base. And a Hydralisk Den coming down. It's a nice wall. You are a Zerg player playing on this map. Take close note of where Soma puts his buildings here. Will definitely help you to win more games against Protoss if you copy some of these small things that the pro players do. Like this Sunken Colony plus, of course, the Hydralisk Den there. These Lings perfectly placed in order to prevent the Zealots from running by. So bringing the drones out. He's got some mutas here as well. Focusing on the Sunken Colony with the Dragoon. Not going to finish that off, though. Single Zealot here, making its way into the main. 2 mutas only to try and deal with this. Takes a long time to kill with just 2 mutas, but he does pull the drones. Finishes that off. Sunken Colony about to fall here in the natural. He does pick that off. There's really a lack of units on the side of Soma. He's playing a very low army game here, trying to get away with as much as he can, as much droning as possible. Great micro with the drones, able to keep those alive. And his drone count is insane. The fact that he held that off while barely producing any units. I mean, he had just a few Lings that were from the beginning of the game. He produced like 4 or 5 mutas. Everything else has been drones. So he's just looking so good right here. Corsairs do come out to deal with these mutas, and Soma will have to transition out of mutalist play. Hydras should be popping out shortly. Sunken Colony does finish in the natural once again, so good timing on that. So let's make their way over here. Should be sacrificial for the few mutas that are out here on the map. Yeah, just gonna track those down. Corsairs are coming in for the assist. It's a little bit too late. So I'm able to just back away easily. And with Scourge coming now, he will regain air superiority on the map, forcing Movie to head on back home and retreat to the safety of his cannons now. Soma sitting here on 3 bases. Where is his 4th going to be taken? Is he going to 6-hatch Hydralisk to try and shut down this fresh base here, this next base? He's added that 6th hatch. It is a little bit late, but it will kick in eventually. 61 energy on this one Templar, and Soma not going to go for that Templar, but he absolutely could have picked that off, excuse me. Wait, did that go down, or where is that Templar? Hold on. I think he actually got that in the chaos there. I might have missed it. Templar does fall. There's no storm in the natural for now. Get over here and try to deny this fresh base. Does eat 1 shot from the Archons. That is a ton of damage. And the Corsairs might be able to chase the rest of these down. Great splitting. Escapes with a few mutas on almost no HP. I'm not sure if those are even worth keeping around at this point, considering how low the HP is. Tons more Hydras popping out for Soma. He's up to 90 supply and sending his army across the map. Movie's gonna have to split his Templar, Zealot, Archon army very perfectly between these 2 bases, but ooh, this Dark Templar is really gonna throw a wrench into things. Having a Dark Templar on that ramp is huge. Soma may have been able to just run up that ramp and deal a lot of damage, but in the current situation, he's going to get surrounded and stormed. The Zealots are running forward. The Storms are doing amazing. Trying to kill this Overlord so that it can't actually break through. The Overlord speed finishes, and now maybe Soma can breach this high ground. High Templar trying to run up this ramp. Does throw down a Storm defensively. Second Storm to defend his Templar as they try to escape, but the Natural's been left bare here with hardly any units in this area. All the Templar were sent up to the third base. Storms being thrown down willy-nilly, but not really connecting with much. The overwhelming Hydralisk army here in the Natural just gonna break through this measly force here of Movie, trying to run down into position. Lurkers are being made with the low HP Hydras. The Archon gets picked off, and Movie has completely fallen apart here. This is the problem. This is what I was talking about a little earlier, guys, when I said he needs to split his army appropriately between the main and, or the Natural and the third base. He left way too few units over here at the Natural, sent everything to the third, assuming that was the target here for Soma. But Soma quickly changes direction and breaks through the Natural. Yeah, Templar are just no good when they're trying to run forward on top of Hydras. They need to be sitting behind those walls, man. They got to be sitting next to the cannon, ready to storm the moment that the Hydras run forward, not coming from behind trying to catch up to the Hydras that are already breaking through the wall. That was Movie's mistake. Soma takes another victory. He cleans up Protoss. He finished off Terran already, and he takes the victory for the Zerg. That was our final game, guys. We're not going to see a game with Hero this week. He gets to sit one out, takes that prize money home without doing any work. What a slacker. Zerg, guys, take the victory. Alrighty, guys, here are your point rankings. Looks like Zerg and Protoss leaving Terran in the dust. 3 weeks in a row, no points going over to Terran. This week, Zerg takes the lead once again, getting up to 6 points. Protoss tight behind them with just 5 points. Going into week number 5, it'll be very difficult to see a Terran recovery, but it is possible. Just need to have some good Terran lineups here. Get some more preparation. I actually don't know what Terran needs, honestly. What does Terran need to bring this back? You tell me below in the comments, guys. Thank you so much for watching this week. Thank you for joining me. My name is Saiyan SC. I hope you have a great weekend. I'll see you guys in the next video.